Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. Welcome and thank you. This is a new series that I'm trying out that I'm just getting started. It is the Shamanic Saturday series. So we're going to have more than one Saturday event, but this is the very, very first class. I'm going to put, there's someone on mute and I'm not sure who it is. So I'm just going to mute a couple people. There we go. Okay. If you guys need to ask any questions, I'll let you know when to ask questions, and then you can just take yourself off mute at that time. It was just giving me a little bit of feedback interference, so I just went ahead and muted everybody. Okay, so today's class and event is entitled Meet Your Spirit Animal. And like I said, I'm going to have these at least once a month, and this is the very first one, so I appreciate you guys for joining me. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do to start. I just knew I wanted to do something shamanic, as I said in the event. So on the new moon, I decided to take a journey, and I took a shamanic journey. I met with my guides, and this is the class that they said this was the offering that you guys would benefit the most from, and that I should host and kind of give a little bit of connection to people, teach them a little bit how to do maybe a basic, just very basic level shamanic journey. And then, and also, you know, have just hold space for everybody in this container around us while you're here, so that you can have some energy going to you and fuel your own shamanic journey while you're taking this class. And then so that you can go and find a spirit animal. And for some of you guys, it will be the spirit animal that's just working for you now. So we get spirit animals that work with us temporarily, that come in for different reasons. And then for some of you, like say you're having a hard time right now, or you just started a business, you could have a spirit animal that comes to you just for your business, kind of like a mascot that helps you out and boost your thought processes or your sales or whatever it is that you're looking for. And they'll tell you what they're here for, or a guide will tell you. Or here we go, got another person coming in. Or it could be someone, a spirit animal that you've always had with you for a very, very long time, or since birth, or in fact, even your power animal. So everyone will get their own animal while you take your own journey to find out what they're here for, what kind of work they want to do for you, and they'll appear to you. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about how to know which animal it wants to work with you, and how to make sure that you ask them what they're here for once we get into the class. Okay, so I just gave a little example here. In my 4-week program that we're doing right now, my 4-week empowerment program, we found out that we had 2 animals to help us with the 4 weeks that we're working together. We're working on setting boundaries and stepping into our own power and showing up more and asking for our needs to be met, and self-compassion. And the 2 animals that showed up for that was the peacock. And the peacock was there to help us to be seen more, you know, to spread your wings and say, hey, y'all aren't going to get rid of me that easy. I'm here and I got needs and I got rights just like everyone else. So the peacock is helping us to kind of step forward and be, you know, seen when we need to be seen. And the other animal that we got was the chameleon for this 4 weeks. And that was like kind of the opposite. Also, the chameleon is very, very intuitive animal. So it helps you with your intuition, but it also helps you to kind of know when it's the time to just kind of shrink in the background and just observe and watch what other people are doing, so that you know the right moments to make the moves that you need to make. And also so that you can observe details, so that you're not just reacting to everything that's happening to you, that you're like just sitting back, blending in with your surroundings and watching what everyone's doing, so that you don't jump to conclusions, and you take in that information and you absorb it and process it, and then you know better how to react to the situation. So that's what the chameleon head came into our life to do. So that's just kind of some examples about how these animals will come into our lives and help us with different things. Okay, so I just have a few quick things to go over before we get started. So I thank you so much for your patience, and then we're going to go into more of the class. But I just wanted to give a little bit of information about myself and make a couple of announcements. So a little bit about me. I am Ordained Minister Wyzdom DVine. That is my healer name. And my shamanic given name is Heals the Mother. And that name was given to me by my own shamanic mentor and trainer, teacher. When I graduated advanced level shamanism. So there was different levels to go through. And when we got to the tippy top and we were done with our first round, because you have many rounds of advanced shamanism to take with her. But in the first round, the guides tell her what your name is given by the universe, by your spirit team, by the spirits of the earth, and they will kind of name what it is that you do. And so my name is Heals the Mother, and that's taken on a threefold path, very intricate path for me as far as shamanism is concerned. So the three ways that that name shows up for me is by healing the Mother Earth itself, the mother goddess, by being in right relationship with all of the spirits, whether it's animal spirits, plant spirits, mountain spirits, or people spirits, or even passed away spirits, doing my best to be in right relationship and a steward with all of the beings that are connected to the Mother Earth. The second way is actually healing mothers themselves. I work with a lot of women, and women can be mothers whether they give birth physically to children or they have children that are their energetic or spiritual children, even birthing a business. It's got somebody coming in. Even birthing a business is your creation. You gave birth to that. That's your child. That's your baby. So different ways of being a mother, not just one way. And I have been given charter to assist in all of those types of healing. So I am ordained and certified as a shamanic healer, as a Reiki master, as an NLP life coach, many things and much more. I am also a boundaries and personal authority expert, and I create spaces and programs and classes and sessions to help empathic people, highly sensitive individuals, and other gifted helpers. So this series and the way that I teach shamanism, in fact, as well, are always adding to that, always helping what I call gifted helpers to find tools and strategies and ways to really step into your own energetic boundaries, not just boundaries in the physical, but in the energy and spiritual as well, and also stepping fully into what your personal authority and power is, whatever your lineage, whatever your culture, whatever your magic is. That's what I like to bring out of you. So you'll see here that, you know, when I'm teaching shamanism, as I do these little programs and when I teach my course, that it's very much so geared towards customizing a sacred practice that works for you. All right, and then a couple of announcements that I have. So on top of the event that you're at today, I have some other events coming up, and what I'll do is I'll just name them all. And if you have any questions about any of them, you can stay after the event and ask me questions, or you can drop your email in the chat, or you can stay after and just give me your email real quick. If you want more information, I can send it to you in email, or we can always have a quick chat about any of that. So that way we won't hold anybody up, but I just wanted to announce those things real quick. So the next thing that I have coming up is my chakra activation. My chakra moon activation class is always, it's been ongoing for a while. We started at root. We are officially in heart chakra right now. What we do is we activate a different chakra for each of the full moons and new moons that come up. So this past full moon, we just now got into heart chakra activation. And so we have information, resources that I send via email, and a replay of the event that we had. This time we just did a little short one, but the next big class coming up is throat chakra on August 27th. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you get all of the replays for all of the chakras. So you could either catch up, go back starting with root, or you could just join us right where we are and then go back to root. Once you get to crown chakra, you go back to the beginning and start with root. I did a journey and asked the guides, and they said that that was okay to do it that way if you do feel called to do it that way. If you want to start now and do root right now, you can also do that. as well. So the next live class for that will be August 27th. So that's in 2 weeks from today, same time, same day of the week. And we'll be joining together throat chakra, really talking about expressing ourselves and creativity that comes through spoken word types of creativity, different things that have to do with throat chakra. How many are there? 7. So we're doing the 7 main chakras in this one. There's many, many chakras. If you go and you decide to further your studies about chakras, you'll find out there's more, but we're doing the 7 main chakra system. So we're doing 7 chakras, and we'll be on throat, and we will be activating on the moon what I call as the process that I call chakra bonding. And that's where you spend 2 weeks working on bonding and creating a relationship with these chakras, letting the spirits that are connected to the chakras come into your life, show you things that need to be worked on, move the energy through you, arrange the universe around you to where it's constantly teaching you lessons about that chakra for 2 whole weeks, so that you gain a deeper understanding about yourself and about the chakras in general, so that you can use that information to empower yourself, but also to help others. You'll have such a good relationship with it that you'll start to see that same thing in others. It'll just kind of click for you. And when I did this for myself the very first time, it gave me the ability to, when I smudge, I can actually see in everyone else's chakras after I smudge them. I was thinking about that. Will the series repeat after Crown is the question that just came in chat. I was thinking about possibly doing that and just having this like an ongoing thing, just constantly needing to do that. But I might take a break for a little while, because that's what I did for myself. It's like you just let everything kind of integrate. But as far as well, because there's people that started late and they didn't get back to Crown. So this time I might actually just go right into Crown, just to kind of help everybody that came in late, just kind of get up to wherever they joined. So it might be something that I do continue. That keeps popping up for me in my energies. So that might be something that I do. And then the other question, as far as was third chakra, was throat chakra, the third chakra, we count from the bottom up. So it's not the third chakra, because it's the third chakra from the top. So it's actually the 5th chakra, throat chakra is. So we have root is 1, sacral is 2, solar plexus is 3, heart is 4, and throat chakra is the 5th chakra, because we count from the bottom going up. So again, if you have any more questions about that, classes will stay afterwards, and you can ask me questions, or you can email me or message me afterwards, and we can talk more about it, because I didn't want to hold this class up with too much information about these announcements. I just wanted to announce in case that you guys were wanting to know everything that I have coming up. So that will be on August 27th. In conjunction with that particular series, on September 9th, I will be holding a live ceremony. This will be an evening. It's not going to be necessarily a class. It's going to be a ceremony and a celebration. So it's going to be in the evening. It's going to be on a Friday night, September 9th. We're going to be feasting. So bring your TV tray to your computer screen. Bring your snacks. Bring your drinks. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be playing music, and then we're going to all sit down, bring our intention together. Invite the full moon energy, invite all of our spirit teams around us, open that sacred space, and then ask for our third eye to get activated and to start that bonding process with the third eye. And this one, you don't have to be a student of the class to join. I'm going to hold this for everybody, because a lot of people are in spiritual businesses and in fields where they're working with their third eye a lot. So I wanted to offer that one in particular to everyone, but also for my students of the class to have something to look forward to, because we've been working really hard, and this will be kind of like a celebration for us all to pull it together. So that will be September 9th next month. And then big announcement I have is the much awaited shamanic training certification course is now being open to the public. Where previously I did certify students, and they have graduated and they did get their certificates, but it was by invitation only. So now I'm actually opening it to the public, where anybody who wants to join can go ahead and register. Registration is open now, and I'll put the link to that in the event or if you want the link directly sent to you, again, just shoot me your email and I'll make sure to get all of this information to you in the email. And so that course is going to be a 4-month course where we are going to be in fellowship with other like-minded individuals like yourself, more empaths and highly sensitives and gifted healers of all kinds coming together to start your shamanic path, to answer that call back to nature, back to the knowledge of the ancestors, back to something lying dormant in your DNA that you just feel is there, and you're gonna tap into and just get this sacred practice where you can combine everything that you learn, your energy work, your downloads, your spirit guide communications, all of those things in one place in a shamanic practice, the way that I teach it. And that way it's very, very particular to you, and it's a straight individual in relationship to the spirit realms, the upper world, the lower world, and the middle world. We're just going to learn all about that for 4 months. And on top of that, you will get, like I said, certified. You'll get a certificate of proficiency and completion from me, a digital copy and a physical copy that you can use to either start the path of going like I did through all the different levels of shamanism and then getting certified to be a shamanic practitioner, shamanic healer, or you can just add that in conjunction, put that in the wall of your herbalism shop, or put that in the wall of your Reiki business, whatever business you do in spiritual practice you have. This works in conjunction with that, and it could just be something to add to what you already do. So that's that big announcement. And then the 4-week program that I did just mention a little while ago, we're in that right now. It ends on August 17th, and I will be coming back around to do a second round of the 4-week empowerment program. Like I said, we do boundaries, self-compassion, you're stepping into your power, claiming dominance and authority, learning your guides. Very basic though, just kind of like the 101 version of that, just beginning. And that will be coming back around September 14th for anyone who is interested in joining the 4-week program. So that was it. Thank you so much. Let me make sure that I'm done here. Yep, that's all. So like I said, anybody wants any more information about those things, stay afterwards or send me your email and ask for more information. And that's including if you are watching the replay, comment below that you want more information, or send me a quick direct message, a DM in chats, and let me know if you want an email with all of this information, or we can just set up a chat to have about it all. All right, so that's it for that. I don't know who was here in the beginning. We were just talking about the full moon energy that we're still in right now. It seems that a lot of people that I'm talking to are having big heart opening kind of reactions right now. I have people that are, crying uncontrollably over gratitude, and people who are crying uncontrollably over things that they've never grieved in many, many years. So, so we have a lot of things I can tell that's being connected to heart, and that's not just in my class. I think we're working on heart chakra, but I noticed that people aren't in that class and they're still having a big heartfelt kind of full moon energy. So I'm not sure if that's the case for you guys, but that's definitely been the case for me. And in the last couple of days, I've had several animals and guides and spirits, people like beings that I'm not used to seeing, just kind of coming around and hanging my energy, kind of tapping on me, and somebody's coming in, kind of tapping me and getting my attention. And there have been animals and different entities, and they're just, the closer we get to this event, the more and more their presence is being known. So they're just, I'm assuming it's very, very ready for you guys to work with them. They are excited to be present and make their presence known to me, so that I know that I'm here just kind of providing like a matchmaking service for animals and spirits to just kind of connect you to all of the beings that are kind of in my energy, ready to work with you guys. So that's been a pretty amazing experience as well. Any of you guys having, I don't know, want to share anything that's happening for you guys over this this full moon energy? Anything coming up for you? Or once you decided to come to this event, have you had like special interactions with animal spirits or any of your guides, like kind of letting you know that something was coming now that you've stepped into the idea of coming here? OMG, yes. Anyone else? Did you want to share? If you want to take yourself off mute and share, you can. Yeah, you're going to, yes. Seems like it. Seems like big energy. Micah, it looks like you're off mute, but it looks like you turned off your microphone as well. Like you're not connected to sound anymore. Okay. Well, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but thank you so much for sharing. You just got a welcome back from your animals and spirit guides. That's awesome. Somebody must have been taking a little hibernation. Yes, okay, yeah, little hibernation break from your work with your spirit guides. All right, so let's talk a little bit about taking a shamanic journey. So let me first start off by asking if the majority of you guys, if you have ever taken a shamanic journey at all. Has anyone in here ever taken shamanic journey, gone into trance, and actually felt like that's what you were doing, was taking a shamanic journey?
I haven't.
No? You guys can use the little icons if you want to, like, just to raise your hands on the reactions at the bottom of the screen if you want to just like participate.
No, I have not.
No, you haven't? How about meditation, where you actually received information, downloads, saw visions, heard voices, something like that, where you like received information, but in a meditation? Has anyone here had that experience? Yeah? Got a hand raised? Anyone else?
Thoughts come to mind.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah. I could say that's a download. Like
yeah,
something
that's when it comes in your own mind, like it's your own thought, a lot of the times that's your higher self. Like your higher self is like putting the ideas in your head. So it's still coming from you, but it's like coming from a higher place, and it like gives you kind of direction or gives you an answer to a question you had, right?
Okay, yep. And then things are just more clearer. And I'm like, wow, where did that come from?
Right.
I'm like, that comes somewhere like up above or somewhere high, or, you know, like you said, a higher self or something like that. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then somebody said, I have been on a shamanic 2-day workshop before and journey. That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. It's very similar to that, what we were just saying, that Aziza just said, where it is, it's like you get clarity and you get messages the way that you do in meditation. Sometimes it can come in just images with no sound. Sometimes it comes with all the voices are talking to you. Sometimes the images don't really make sense, but you get a feeling afterwards, and maybe you just got a healing. The difference between that, just the meditation, the biggest difference, there's many differences, but one of the biggest differences between receiving that information in meditation versus doing that in shamanic journey is intention. And so the way that I teach my students is, when we're going to get ready for journey, we set an intention first, and that kind of like wakes everybody up. That wakes up all the spirits, that wakes up the spirit guides, it lets that, you know, everyone know, and lets our body and our astral body and our higher selves know, I'm about to step into this space, this sacred space that I have available to me, that's access to other dimensions and other worlds that are unseen for a specific reason. So when you start to work with these energies more and more, just simply stating the intention is the thing that like steps everybody up. Like, you know, they have, what was it, the Unsullied on Game of Thrones, or they have, like, you know what I mean, like on the new one coming out for Wakanda, like you see the warriors, and they might like not all be, you know, standing up straight or anything like that, but oh, somebody coming in. I think maybe somebody accidentally bounced out. And then somebody will just make a gesture, or, you know, make a sound, or hold their stick up. I remember that with like the color guard and stuff in school, and everybody would, you know, hold their rifles or their flags, upright all of a sudden, poof, be at attention. And so it's kind of like that. Once you set the intention and you get yourself ready, it's like the spirits, and you can feel it, like woof, they're there and they're ready for you to go into your journey now that you've been practicing with that. So we have some hands raised. Are we have questions?
Yes.
Yes.
So I've never had one vision in meditating before, but my visions will usually come either one of two ways. They'll come either while I'm sleeping, there'll be something, or I can be literally wide awake.
Right. So having the vision come through you while you're wide awake is more of a download. So that's what I call downloads, when it just kind of hits you. And it happens in meditation and stuff as well. But when it just, especially when it's like, oh, you're just in the middle of doing something and all of a sudden it kind of just hijacks your mind, which is one of the things I try to teach in energetic boundaries, because sometimes that can happen at a time that's not necessarily the most beneficial. So you have to like train, hey, this is when I do this, not in the middle of the day when I'm in the middle of doing something else. And so shamanic, for me, that's Shamanic Journey is a place that I go specifically for those downloads. But it can happen every now and then. It can still happen anytime, but that's like a download. That's receiving that information. They needed to get that information to you right now, and they're just gonna kind of shove it in your head without your permission. Versus what you said when you were asleep. Now that's your astral body that travels to probably one of these unseen realms, or to meet with a guide, or that you're just kind of in the astral realm, just kind of in this bubble where they can reach you better. Our astral bodies usually travel during sleep. And so we won't learn about that in this class, but like when you're in middle world, you're usually in the astral realm. And when you're taking journey, a lot of the times you're using your astral body. And that's why we set up big protections. One of my my first class that I always teach in shamanic training is ethics. We will learn the laws of nature, and we also learn the kind of the rules of making sure that you're practicing spiritual hygiene, and you're putting up your safeguards, so that astral bodies can kind of bring things back sometimes. So you want to be careful with that. But that's why it's easier to get more things get more information when you're sleeping, is because your astral body went to these unseen realms and they went and got the information. And Shamanic Journey is doing the same thing, but while you're awake and with definite intention, and with those safeguards around you that I'm talking about, where we open up some kind of sacred space, which I will do for us for this class. I'm putting a container around all of us, so we will all be safe. But when you're going to want to do it on your own, you're going to want to have your own protections up and available. Okay, so I can do that when meditating, so I need to learn protection, right? Yeah, a lot of people do. That's why I kind of wanted to ask, because anyone gotten this information just in meditating? For me, it used to come in meditation, it used to come in my dreams, it used to come in the middle of the day, and it would just take over me and spiritually hijack me. I mean, like literally I was just getting it all the time. But meditations used to give me a lot of overwhelm, until I learned from a psychic teacher to ask for that information to come through me in a way that I can handle it, because they're not human and they don't know. Like I said, like sometimes they're just shoving that information through our auric field or into our human bodies, and it's not something that is sustainable, or doesn't feel very good to our human bodies. And so just by simply saying, can you please give that information to me in a way that I can handle, will slow down that force, and will start to put up a little bit of boundaries for yourself, so that you can accept it in the way that you can accept it. Same thing with being a medium. If you see spirits and you talk to spirits and they come and they bother you all the time, and you don't have any kind of safeguards or protections or office hours, I like to call them, then they'll bother you all the time. But you can set that where you're saying, okay, this is when I do it. For me now, same thing. When I want to go and do mediumship work for somebody and talk to their past loved ones, I do it in Shamanic Journey. That's my place now, where it's like, that's like my office, my spiritual office. I go into Shamanic Journey, step into the spirit realm, and then I can go different places to talk to different entities and receive that information in a way that I don't have to feel so unbelievably drained, or like they're pushing all their power through this human vessel. My astral body goes and does it, and it doesn't feel as overwhelming. Okay. With the last class, I started using my pups and kitties as vibe checkers, LOL, and surprisingly, it grounded me so much. Yeah, because your animals they know the vibe. Mine is, I call her Shamana Dog. She likes to come and get, smudged. She likes to join the card readings. She puts her little nose up. She likes to smell the Palo Santo. Like she's just, when she knows I'm doing Reiki, she'll like get up in my lap, like, oh, it's time for mom to do Reiki. I'm going to get some of this good Reiki energy. So she loves all of that. And then I find that I do Reiki for cats and dogs, and they really are pretty accepting to it. But they also can sense things even before we can. They can sense bad energy. We've heard that before. People be like, if my dog don't like you, I don't like you. If my cat won't come around, then that means you're a bad person. People use their animals, and so that works. Okay, and so I need that training on protection. Is that what you're saying, Karen? And you need the training on protection, or on which one? On the shamanic training in general? Oh, for mediumship. Yeah. Again, we go over all of that in the shamanic training, because like I said, all of us have our different gifts, and I like to take shamanic path. Like I said, you heard, I have a long list of things that I'm trained in, but to me, shamanism, I learned psychic training first. So that's why I teach empathic boundaries 101 or 102. I do the chakra things, and that's kind of like me kind of getting people started and getting them information that can at least give you some kind of assistance. So I did my psychic training first, and he was a mediumship trainer, and he was a psychic trainer, and he was very, very talented in them. He goes and he lives in his RV, lives the free life now, and he drives his car, drives his RV around wherever he wants to go. And so I'm so happy for him, but I also really, really, really miss his presence, because those were amazing classes and great places to practice. So that's what I try to do now, is try to kind of fill that space that I'm missing from that teacher. That was many, many years ago now. And then after that was shamanism, and shamanism is where I learned how to control like all the things, whereas like I already started to gain some control in the psychic training, but in shamanism, I was able to take everything and say, okay, no, you go here and you go there, and you don't talk to me unless you see this. And now I can feel, like I said, as soon as I set that intention, or I light my candles and I start to smudge and I'm getting ready to pick up my drum, it's like I could feel everybody, woof, they're there, right there, standing at attention, ready to join in this sacred space and give me whatever I need, whether I'm healing someone else's generational curses, whether I'm scanning someone's body. I even do Reiki inside of Shamanic Journey, because all of my work is long distance now. I don't have anyone come to me, but the distance Reiki is even that much stronger in the shamanic journey, because their spirit body meets me and my spirit body meets them in the same sacred place, where I'm able to see their body and see into their body better. And then there's metaphoric things that pop up. It might be like a black snake is coming out of this person's, sacral chakra, and it's letting me know, on the one hand, there's femininity, and the snake is, a symbol of the divine feminine, but it's black because it's saying there's a shadow around this person's identity, around femininity. They have a dark thoughts about what it means to be a woman, and so on and so forth. And the guides will talk to me and tell me what's going on, and I'll come out and I'll tell the person, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that was so on point. So I do all of it in Shamanic Journey now, but I'm not gonna lie, like, because we have these abilities, sure, I get lazy sometimes and I'll just tap in really fast and be like, okay, let me see what's going on with you. And that's more of an informal way of doing it. Okay, so we'll be sure to set the intention. Like I said, be sure to set a clear intention before you go into that journey. And then you can get into the trance state. We call that how you get into shamanic journey is you go into a trance-like state where you basically are like in a trance. And side note, I don't do plant medicine. And a lot of people do plant medicine for their shamanism, and that's perfectly fine for them. It's not something that I feel called to do. I'm not connected to plant medicine. the way that my guides explained it to me is it's like there's all these doors in our minds and in our spirit that like lead to different things. Sometimes it's shadow work, sometimes it's magical, amazing. I mean, shadow work is magical and amazing if you know how to look at it that way. But there's different things behind each one of the doors. And so if you take a plant medicine, there's no way of regulating that, and it could be literally kicking all the doors open at once. And some people can handle that and some people can't. And some people, you know, they want that like quick experience, and it just like takes you down this like really, really different kind of road. For me, because my doors are like kind of open anyway since I was a kid, it's not something that it doesn't sound fun to me to like have that experience, because I can have that experience like that anyways, and it's very vivid and sometimes kind of even scary. But the way that my guide said that my path is more like finding the door, like going on a path, going on a little adventure to find the door. You find the door, you find the key, you put the key in the door, and then there's that relief. There's that epiphany, that moment where you're like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. This is exactly the information I've been looking for. And it feels so good that those two met each other at the right time, divine timing in my life, and it's all falling into place the way it was supposed to be. It's always been, you know, working in my favor, and I'm finding each one of these keys for each one of these doors when I'm supposed to. So that's how I was taught, or that's how I was shown by my guide. So that's the way that I do it. Like I said, I don't do plant medicine. So you can get into a trance light state in different ways. You can dance. You can do a dance trance. You can literally dance and dance and dance and dance until you just like feel like you left your body, and you can like receive information that way. Obviously, like I said, you can just go into just a meditation with no sounds at all. You can fast. Fasting will get you into a trance-like state, will make it easier for you to slip into a trance-like state. And even though I do the trance with drumming, I will still fast at times. And I was thinking about maybe having like an event around that for one weekend, just kind of talking about fasting for to receive more spiritual downloads or to get spiritual answers. So especially when I have like a harder client coming up and I know I'm going to have to like go back generations and heal something with them, sometimes my guides will tell me that I need to fast. You can be in a hot, like crank the heat up, like hotboxing yourself, like a lot of heat, and just kind of sit there to where it like starts to make you feel like you're kind of like getting kind of like woozy or hallucinating. That can take you into a trance light state, or you can get into a trance light state through sound. And so there's different sounds that you can use. And in my class, the way that I teach it is we use the drum. And so for me, I'm going to be using my drum and drumming for us today. However, you can also, you can find a YouTube video. There's lots of YouTube videos out there for you to choose from, and you can listen to different ones and find which drumming or which sound works best for you in order for you to do your shamanic journeys. For my class, I have a specific one that I assign to them, and that's the one that we all use. And to me, it's very, very effective. And I've tried different ones, and for me, they don't all work. Sometimes they can even be really, really close to that, but have like a different variance. And for some reason, my mind and body won't like it. Though using my own drum is like the best one for me. And then also, I said I was going to say this on recording, but I forgot. Anyone who is not here today but wanted to be here, you're going to have the opportunity to watch the replay for the next 3 days. And also, even if you are here and you just want to watch the replay, you will have 3 days to watch the replay before I go ahead and take it down. I wasn't going to record it at first, but then I just felt like moved to go ahead and offer a recording and a replay, but I'm just going to take it down after 3 days. I'll put it in the event, and then that way you can go back and watch it in the event. If Facebook will let me, I'll probably put it on YouTube and then put the unlisted link in the event, so that I don't mess up anything with the file being too large. Okay, comments. It says it reminds me of like departments and specializations. Right. It's very similar to that. It's the same thing also kind of how I've been teaching in the 4-week program, where you guys, I mean, when we get even further along in the empowerment program, you'll see all the different versions of your inner selves have different jobs. If you have a perfectionist side, a perfectionism voice in your head, a perfectionism inner self that lives inside of you, giving her a job to do or giving him a job to do is like the best way to like integrate that part, because there's time and a place when perfectionism might need to show up for you, but you don't want perfectionism to show up at times when it's not convenient for you. So you will give perfectionism, hey, I need you to watch out for these particular things and these things only. And whenever he or she steps out of line and tries to perfectionize something that you didn't give permission to, then you have boundaries to say, no, 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 no. Sorry, you're not going to do that to me in my head. We're not going there. And you remind them of what their job is. It's similar to that, giving these spirits and other parts of your empathic and intuitive abilities a time and a place. Like, okay, that's not what we do anymore. We do this other thing now. All righty, see here. All right, we're going to move on into picking your spirit animals, but do we have any other questions before I move on into how you're going to pick how you're going to know to pick your spirit animals or know when an animal wants to work with you? Do you have any questions before we get into that? And if you need me to go back over something, I can go back over something as well. I apologize. I know that I talk fast. Where I'm from in Texas, we call that a El Paso accent, is when you talk too fast. So let me know if I need to go back over something. Nope, we're good. All right, going to assume that we are good. Oh, fellow El Paso in there laughing. Okay, so on picking your spirit animals, now there's an old rule, and I still will use this rule most of the time. Like sometimes it's just, there's no need to, because it's just apparent what animal wants to work with you. But let's say that you go into your translate state right now, you go into to do a meditation and to do the journey, you set your intention that I want to find out a animal spirit that wants to work with me at this time and why or how they plan on working with me. When you set that intention, you go in there and you see tons of animals, which happens a lot. Like to me, even when I'm picking spirit animals for other people, they all show up, like tons of animals will show up. They all want to help. They all want to work with you. And so in order to know which ones are specific or specifically meant to be picked this time, the old shamanic rule is that you wait to see them 3 times. And it could literally be you just saw a flash of them at the corner of your eye, like moving in the bushes in the forest of wherever you're going to go. I'm going to teach you, we're going to talk about where you start your journey from in a minute. Wherever you are in your mind's eye, and you are, noticing the rustling of the leaves or something, and you see a piece of the animal, and you keep on going, and you see something else, and you see another part of that animal. They show up in a different way, and then they show up in a third way. And so that would be that you would know for sure that animal wants to work with you. And so when I found out my power animal, it was a big, giant, hairy, I don't know what you call those, wolf spiders or camel spiders. Like it was like this huge gray hairy spider. And I was just kind of I didn't get my power animal the first time I did a journey. And so then I went home after training and was just at home just practicing journeys. And then I was in a different type of journey. But while I was like, we were dancing with this like woman that was like a shapeshifter or some animal, and we were dancing, and at the corner of my eye I see this spider. I was like, oh, okay, there's a spider. And then I was doing something else, and then I see the spider again. Now, because I know this rule, the second time to me was enough. It was like, wait a minute, why am I seeing you a second time? So in the journey, I picked up the spider, which I wouldn't have done in real life, picked up this giant hairy spider that like took up my whole hand and looked at it face to face and said, do you have a message for me? Like, are you here for me for some reason? And I got nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I put the spider back down on the ground, and I continued whatever I was doing in my sacred garden. And then I look down and I see the spider running kind of like through my legs on the ground again. So this time I decided to follow it, and I'm looking down and I'm just kind of chasing it everywhere it goes. And then it goes somewhere that gets like lower and lower, like a little kind of like opening, like in a cave or something. So I'm on my hands and knees crawling and finding it. And then it opens up big again, and I stand back up and I look around and I realize I'm inside of a giant nest. And as I'm looking around, I look up and there's the spider that's across from me, the size of a human, just sitting back, chilling in the size of a human. And she begins to speak to me. And she tells me that, you know, she's my power animal. She's always been around. And she gives me this feeling in my heart, this like unbelievable feeling of love, like the most loving, motherly kind of energy you can imagine. And I began to cry. Like I just feel this very, very protected, nurtured, comforted energy from this animal. And, you know, we had a conversation at that time. So it could be something along those lines, or like I said, if it's just literally the only animal that shows up, then it's pretty apparent that that's the animal that's here to work with you. You might also have a guide that brings to you. So especially if you've worked with guides before, you might have an angel that you work with, a saint, an orisha. You might have an ancestor, a passed away spirit, a guardian. Somebody like that might show up and walk the animal over to you, and then that deity or person or spirit might tell you why this animal is here. Instead of the animal talking to you, the guide would say, you know, I'm giving you this bird because this bird is going to teach you to rise above situations and to you know, to not busy yourself with little petty details, something like that. It'll tell you a specific reason why this animal is in your life, what they're here to change for you, transform, give you their own power. Sometimes you can even merge with these animals where they're, you know, like you could get a panther come in, and that panther and you merge with each other sometime, and you have that power and ability of the panther to withstand things that are hard going on in your life right now. So it'll be different for everybody. I'm going to be taking my own journey, and for anyone who's not able to see their animal or pull in a journey this time, and I do urge you to practice more even after this class until you do feel like you pull a good start pulling imagery, or even the feelings, or even the sound. Sometimes you could just see the whole journey is black, but you'll hear voices talking to you, and that's still a journey. You still took a journey. Everybody has different clairs, right? We have different clairvoyant, clairaudient, we have different intuition. So for you, you might be a feeling person where you get your information all through the feelings of things. For you, someone else might have the ability to hear, but they can't see or feel the things. They just get all of the messages in their ear. Some other people might get all of the visions in like pictures, and like someone's flipping a picture page for you, and you kind of understand the meaning behind everything, but it doesn't come with any words and it doesn't come with any feelings. Or you could be someone who mixes all of those together and has a really vivid journey. And if that's not you right away, that doesn't mean you won't eventually be the kind of person that pulls all of those in and has a really vivid journey. It just might take some practice and training to do. Also, again, this is just very, very basic. I'm just bringing everybody together to practice. But when we do the actual certification class, what happens is that you're given access to things, you're given a specific way to go into these portals, because you know the ethics and because you know the kind of the rules of doing a proper shamanic journey. You'll get more and more access and more visions and more information, including like upper world. Some people don't have access to the upper world yet. Some people don't have access to Akashic records, but then they get access when they go up to upper world in their journeys in class. So don't worry if you don't get anything right away this time. I'm going to take my own journey to hold space for everybody who's going to take their journey. Plus, I'm also going to come back with any information that they might have for me, including what animals are going to work with everybody who didn't get an animal today. Okay. So you're going to go in there. I told you to we're going to set the intention. I'll remind you of the intention in a second before we go into journey. And you're going to ask either the guide or the animal, you know, what is it that you're here to do for me? How are you going to help me? And so intention. Okay. And so the last thing I wanted to say before we get started is that you're going to pick a place in order to go through your journey. Pick a place that you can think of right now in your mind that you've been to already, preferably a place in nature, but a place that feels sacred to you, a memory that feels really vivid to you, some kind of place that you can recall in your mind with as much detail as possible. You're going to start by imagining that place in your mind. After you set your intention, the next thing you're going to do is start bringing up this place in your mind. So for me, the first place that I ever thought of when I first did this, I went to Girl Scout camp in the 4th grade, and it was my like favorite encounter with horses and the forest and all kinds of things. So there's this particular day that we went walking through the forest after it had rained, and like the leaves were dripping, and there's like stones collecting they had little puddles of collected water, and the ground was a little bit soft, and the girls were laughing and giggling, and they all had on like ponchos or, you know, different raincoats and stuff like that. And we were all, you know, traveling through the forest. And so I bring up that memory, or I used to, like, I'd bring up that memory. I'd see it as much as possible. I'd hear the girls laughing. They would trail off and go away and just leave me where I was. I'd smell the butterscotch pine trees. I would feel the earth soft underneath my feet. I would hear the dropping of the water from the leaves. Bring as much, you know, as much detail into it as possible until you feel like you're really there. Then from that place, when you feel like you're there in that spot, continue walking, and you're going to see either a door or a tree or a ladder. You're going to see some kind of like path, something that's telling you come this way. So if it's a door, you're going to go through the door. If you're going to see a ladder or some stairs, go up the ladder or the stairs. If it's a tree, see if there's a way that you can get around the tree or up the tree or inside through the tree. Just find your way. Sometimes the roots are lifted and they're really high, and you can go right underneath the roots, and it kind of like takes you further into the earth, and you can see all the roots underneath that and the hanging, you know, like roots from the different plant life that's growing there. That could be something. You could see a water, like river, that's like raging, and there's like a raft on it. You're supposed to get on the raft and take you. It could be different things. So just find in your pathway, you know, as you're walking around, look for some kind of way to travel or to get into another space. When you go into that other space, you are now in one of the spiritual realms, whichever one you're meant to get access to today. That's where you're going to be into. And then you're going to, again, constantly keep your intention in your mind. You can get distracted. You can look at things and be like, oh my gosh, this place is so beautiful, or the colors are so bright. But if you want to meet your spirit animal, you're going to want to keep reminding yourself, all right, I had the intention to come into the spirit realm to meet with a spirit animal that wants to work with me right now and find out why or how they're going to help me. And you're just going to keep reminding yourself again and again what you're supposed to do. Even if you meet other beings along the way, say it to them. Hey, I'm here to meet a spirit animal and find out exactly why they're working with me at this time. So there's somebody coming in. So you are going to set that intention and go on your journey, and then find the animal. And like I said, do all the things like I said. Look for the animal to show themselves 3 times. If there's more than one to choose from, or if it's just one animal, just start right from there. And that's it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a collective smudge, because one of the kind of rules and ethics when you do shamanic journey is that you want to enter into these sacred spaces completely cleansed as much as possible. So you want to smudge yourself or use, you know, salt or different things so that you are completely cleansed when you go into this space. So I'm going to smudge all of us. I'm going to do a quick opening of sacred medicine space, which is putting that sacred container around us where we're protected and guided by all of our spirit teams, and only the spirits of the highest good and closest to source energy, the divine, to be with us. And then I'm going to start drumming, and then we'll all go in for the time that I'm drumming to see what kind of things come up. And give me just 1 second. I forgot to flip the switch for my my computer's charger, and it's starting to die on me. So let me do that really quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. All righty. All right, anyone have any questions before I smudge and open sacred space? Is everybody with me? Someone give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. Thank you. I can't tell if I lost you guys completely or there. Okay, there we go. Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me just do a collective smudge. And like I said to you guys before, when I do a collective smudge, what I am doing is also looking into your chakras really quickly. So I'm gonna just give a very brief description of like what they're telling me, because we're getting close to the end of time here, and I don't want to go over by too much and not honor y'all's time. But if anybody wants to share their journeys afterwards and we're running out of time, you're more than welcome to stay and share, but I'm going to make sure that we're done with everything else so everybody can go if they wanted to go. Okay, so what I just want you guys to do is imagine that you have roots growing out of the bottom of your feet down into the ground. They're just going, they're growing, and they're connecting you with Mother Earth and going down into the ground, and they're just sinking you in there. And at the same time, your crown chakra is opening up like a halo above your head, opening up wide and inviting a divine white light to come through the top of your head and wash down over all of your chakras, over your whole energetic body. It's just cleansing you and sending everything that you're letting go of down through those roots. So you just hold that image in your mind. And as you hold that image, I'm going to go ahead and start and smudge everybody, starting from the crown. Crown chakra. Okay. Third eye. Smooth that up, front and back. Throat. Heart. Solar plexus. Sacral. And our roots. Going down, down, down into the Mother Earth, asking her to please carry away everything that we are ready to release at this time, all that is no longer beneficial for us, and all that was never ours to carry to begin with. Through these roots down to your center core, where they can be burned up in your magma and do harm to no one else. Or, as you see fit, to use as fertilizer to grow beautiful things for our future. Amen, Ashe, Aho. Okay, so real quick update. There was a lot of things, I guess, because there's a lot of people, and then including the people who were joining us on the replay were coming through. So I saw some like sacral chakra stuff and different things like kind of coming through, heart chakra stuff. The main thing that they told me to focus on though for this class is your crown chakra. So we have a lot of people that they're in their head and it's difficult for you to get out of your head at times. We needed to bring from crown chakra down into third eye so that these two were really engaged so that we can take a good journey. So we just needed to kind of connect that and kind of open that up so that can happen. If anyone is finding that you're having a hard time connecting in order to go on your journey just now, the suggestion that they just gave me was to kind of imagine, like picture in your head, those gumball machines. I don't know if they still have them, but I know when we were younger, they used to have them at the mall, and you put the money in and then it would go around and around and around and around and around and then tink and then fall out. So they said to kind of just sit and imagine that in your crown chakra, all of your thoughts, your consciousness is in your mind right now, and you don't want it there. You want to get it lower into your third eye or into your heart in order to take this journey. So imagine your consciousness kind of just going around and around, just kind of distracting yourself with the motion of just being in this whirlwind, swirling, swirling, swirling until you blink. You drop right on into your heart, or you drop right on into your third eye, and then take your journey starting from that place. And that's a little trick that somebody might need. If you find that it's very bright and you need to cover your eyes and get a blindfold, that might happen. If you're not able to do that now, maybe during the replay. And if you have noise canceling, earbuds that you can listen to, then that might also help you to more concentrate on your journey. All right. And now I'm just going to open up quick sacred space, wake the spirits up. Ancestors and spirit guides and power animals and star beings, we feel you all go around us, going back generations and generations and lifetimes. I feel you. We thank you so much for your presence in advance. Thank you for being here with us, joining us together, joining our roots for the purpose of this session only. And we will be disconnected at the end of this session when it's done, naturally going back to our rightful places. We ask that you be here now and help us to go on our journeys, help us to sink in and tap into the messages that we are meant to find, help us to be guided. To all the spirits in the south, including the spirit of Sachimama, a great serpent, Mami Wata, all of the spirits of the south included, we ask that you be here with us, help us to shed our skins like a snake does, all in one piece. We are time to let go of our hardships or things that no longer benefit us. Guide us and protect us. Aho. To all of the spirits in the west, including the spirit of Otorongo Jaguar and Jaguar Goddess, be here with us now. Help us to swim across the rivers of life and make it safely to the other side. Guide us and protect us. Aho. To all the spirits of the north, including the spirits of our ancestors, our lineages, the ancient ones, the Apu, the curanderas, all of the wise women and wise men and medicine men and medicine women that came before us. Erase our confusion and doubt and replace them with your own knowledge and wisdom. And to see Warkinti, Royal Hummingbird, thank you so much for being here with us. Help us to remember to collect the nectar and sweetness of life so that we can pollinate our beauty and purpose everywhere that we go. To all of the spirits in the east, including the eagle and the condor, help us to rise above situations, to look at everything with the bird's eye view so that we can collect the details made just for us and bring them back to our nest for processing, and help us to fly wing to wing with the Creator to bring back messages the way that you do. Guide us and protect us. Aho. And to the Mother Earth underneath us, hold us now and collect us together in one tribe. Put us in right relationship with all things in your name. Keep us safe and together at this time. Guide us and protect us. Aho. And above us, to all of the sky spirits, including the moon and the sun, our divine spirit teams, and the divine creator who is of many names and even names yet unknown. Shine your light down on us. Enlighten our pathways. Let us know the messages that are meant for us, not only today, but always. Guide us and protect us. Amen. Ashe. Aho. All right. So get yourself comfortable. Whatever that you need to do to try and take this journey. I'm going to start the drumming for us now. And then when I come out and we're done, then like I said, we'll see if we have enough time for any kind of shares. Reminding you again that your intention is to go in and find your spirit animal that is meant to work with you at this particular time, and to find out why or how they plan on working with you. Okay. When you guys are ready, come back. Forgot to mention the callback. That last part of the drumming is what's called a callback. So the drum changes and it lets you know that it's time to start bringing yourself back into your body. And then once you get back to your body, you journal, you write down, because as you're journaling, the more messages will be able to kind of integrate and come down from the spirit, your spirit self down into the physical realm and tell you more and more what messages you were supposed to be getting out of that. If it's something that you didn't understand quite all the way while you're writing, it'll come more and more to you. So hopefully everybody was able to come back. Okay. When you get back, if you could just kind of give me a thumbs up or a, hey, I'm here, or anything like that. And then you can let everybody know that. So we got some different reactions. Okay. All right. Again, this replay will be up for the next 3 days for everybody who's watching. I saw a lot of different things. So I'm going to go ahead and share what I saw really quickly, just because some people may not want to stay over time. So I'll make sure that we honor the time here. And I want to tell you, so for people who did not get an animal, or they needed some more clarification on the animal they got, so on and so forth. The journey that they took me to, I went to a place that was kind of like a portal in between worlds. It was very dark, and it was like all these little globes, like little spheres, were like on the ground. It was like kind of like letting them all out, like marbles, but bigger than marbles, and they all kind of rolled away from me in different directions, and then they opened up different like holograms. So it was like I could see like kind of into like several different people's energies, and there was like a lot of things going on. There's a lot of different people having different journeys, but the three that they told me to specifically to zero in on and to make sure that I reported back to you guys was someone on my left. And then I don't know why they're telling me to tell you guys like the position, so if that feels like you feel like you're to the left or something like that, or the word left is connected to you, that might be why. But to the left we have Cheetah. And Cheetah is for anyone who gets themselves into situations that they're not great at getting themselves out of. You maybe make decisions and you're like, now I'm stuck in this. Why did I do this? Or you let your mouth get yourself involved in the things that you shouldn't have let your mouth get yourself involved in. You know, that like want to get away kind of commercial where they're like shoving the Twix in their mouth or whatever. So see, someone saw Cheetah. I had a feeling, I was like, I feel like some people maybe saw these things that I'm seeing already. And so the Cheetah is telling me that sometimes you're in situations that aren't the situations you're supposed to be in, and the Cheetah is supposed to help you to very gracefully but very quickly get out of that situation. You're not meant to be there, and it's trying to help you get out of that situation. That's what the Cheetah wants to come and work with you, if that's talking to you. If you're meant to work with Cheetah, it's trying to help you get out of the situation you're not supposed to be in, and you know who you are if that sounds like your situation. In the middle, right down the middle path, I have Alligator. And the Alligator is for someone who is very emotional right now, and they have a lot coming up, like from the past, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of anger, a lot going on, just overwhelmingly, just like coming through them of like things that they're not able to process emotionally. Let it all go. Let all the emotion just spill out of you and just come over. Instead of being afraid that it's going to spill over to others, instead of feeling like you have to contain it because you don't want to bother anyone, let it spill over. And Alligator is going to be at your feet to just chomp it all up, to just catch it and eat it for you, just to let you have that emotional breakthrough that you need to have, so that you can feel safe, that emotion isn't going out into the universe. It's just falling right down to your feet, and the alligator's there to just eat it up so it can do harm to no one. Just allow yourself to have those emotions and process those things you need to process right now. And then off to my right was an ostrich. And this one was like kind of a cute one. So we have ostrich, and ostrich is here to help somebody who is, they feel like they themselves are awkward. They feel like they don't belong. They feel like they're not very graceful. They feel like they don't know how to act in crowds or around other people. They just themselves feel like, you know, very awkward, and that they don't know how to be. And the ostrich tells me that she is not she's shaped in a way that is not like normal for an animal kingdom. She's here on this planet and she had to learn how to work her center of gravity with a big heavy body and this long skinny neck and tiny little head. And so she knows a lot about learning how to be graceful in your own awkwardness. Even if you're not like everyone else, you don't have to be, but you can still be graceful. You can still figure out what is your presence supposed to be, what does your grace look like. And so Ostrich wants to come into someone's life and help them with that, to figure out how to be in situations where you don't know how to be, or you don't know how to be yourself and how to still be graceful. And so the ostriches come into someone's life to help with that. So one of those three, if you did not get an animal, is speaking to you. Okay, so that is the end of anyone who just wanted the information and you didn't want to share, or you didn't have any questions. You are more than welcome to dismiss yourself now. I always just ask that you leave a little message in chat saying bye, you're heading out, or come off of mute real quick and let me know that you're heading out, just so I know that you have left the class. And again, get your email to me if you would like to join my email newsletter, or if you want any further information.
Thank you. This was great.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yes. And I would definitely like to, continue taking some classes with you, but I actually got to run, but this was lovely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I'll find you and send you a message, and we'll connect information.
Definitely. Okay. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You as well. Blessings.
Right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay, so anyone want to share what they got? I'm open. I want to hear. I'm excited. Okay, go ahead. We got a volunteer already, Yolanda.
Mine was kind of weird.
Okay.
I started out heading up a mountain where I used to be in Okinawa, I guess a hill. In Okinawa, I used to like to go fly a kite all by myself on this really green, beautiful hill that had banana trees and stuff around it. But all of a sudden, my mind said, nope, that's not where you're going. And I ended up going to Glacier Park with the raging water, which is very interesting because I'm really attracted to water. And the raging water is going down, and then an antelope pops up. Okay. And the antelope is nudging me. It keeps nudging me. And so I'm thinking, are you my spirit animal? And it's telling me like, yeah, I'm going to push you in the right direction. But then all of a sudden, a polar bear comes sliding down the water.
Okay.
And I'm like, what are you doing here? The polar bear won't answer me. It's just sliding down the water, and it's like, follow me, and I'm following it, and the antelope has disappeared, and I'm like, no, I understand the antelope. I don't understand the polar bear, And
Okay.
then there was like trout that was jumping around the polar bear, but I didn't get the message from the polar bear, so I don't get it. Like I said, the antelope made sense. So that was my journey.
Okay. So that means that you need to take another journey. Then you got an animal, but you didn't get the second half of why or how they're here to help you. So I would definitely try to go into a meditative state or another journey, and this time with the intention of, I'd like to go back and meet with the antelope and the polar bear, find out which one is working with me and why and how. And so it sounds like they're trying to get you to come back, is what it sounds like. And so I'm pretty sure it goes without saying that you're joining my class, so that makes sense also. So you'll be finding out more when you're in shamanic training. So they're like, hey, go on, do what she says. She's gonna tell you what to do next.
Oh, is that what she was telling me?
I don't know. It sounds like a good guess. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Aho. And Queen Holland is next. Got it? Are you able to come off mute? Uh-oh. Queen Holland, are you with us? Okay, maybe she was not able to unmute herself. Let's see. Oh, and Micah seems to have lost her ability to communicate again as well. So when she comes back, oh, let me figure this phone out. Okay. All right. We'll give you a moment. It seemed like at the bottom of your screen somewhere should be your microphone. And then you could tap on it because it should have a line through it right now. If you tap on it, it'll come back.
So what I did is you can leave the meeting because mine keeps on doing that too and like disconnecting it. So you leave the audio, and then when it asks you, do you want to join again, you say yes with your computer or your phone audio, and don't like dismantle or get out of anything. And it seems to be working, but I've had to do it several times because like we transferred internets. So like I got used to one, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to learn. Yeah, so I was like, I need help.
Well, go ahead and share yours while Queen Holland is figuring out her phone. You wanted to share too as well, right, Micah?
Yeah, so when we started doing the classes, I started doing like nature walks, and I would always be finding feathers. And so I started like a little like feather collection. And so I kept finding hawk and eagle feathers, and I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And recently, I always see blue jays and cardinals. And so, like, we have a cardinal nest in our backyard. And it's so funny because we have a park out here called Patriot Park. And so, like, that's my favorite one. And so I'll go, like, on a little hike, and like, it follows me, you know? And so I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, like, I even named it. And so, like, I think birds resonate a lot with me.
Yeah, me too.
And given what's happening with my family, for those of you who don't know, my dad was unfortunately hit by a vehicle, a hit and run. So it's been very hard to ground myself emotionally.
Yeah.
And like I even started sleepwalking, and I haven't slept walked since I was 15.
Oh, wow.
And then like one night, Ruben said I was like screaming and like crying. Like I would wake up, and he was like, "Hey," like he had to like shake me awake. And I don't want to say ironically, but we would get a call or a message from my parents or my sister, and they would say, this is what's happening with dad, and it would coincide with what was happening like in my body physically.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, well, if I'm like somehow connected from him, even though we're like 1,000 miles away, like I'm gonna start using my mornings and my nights, and then afternoon too is when I would feel things. And so I would like wake up and like do my meditations and yoga, and then I would practice the mantras and all that.
Right.
The mantra and mantras. And then what I couldn't control was the night, and I've always been a night owl, so thus the sleepwalking and everything.
Yeah.
And so I started saying, you know what, I don't want to black out. I want to remember what happens when I sleepwalk. And so I guess opened up my circle. I said, whoever, like team guys that have been with me since childhood, because it was consistent throughout my life, like show me what you want me to do. Like I want to stay in the line. I want to be there for my family, even if I can't be with them physically. And so I started seeing predator animals, and it has been sharks. One time I saw a vulture, and I was like, okay, well, those are intense animals, you know? And so I was started like,
well, what kind of animal did you get? Did you get another animal today, or a bird that finally talked to you with the you know? Oh, someone's leaving. Okay, gotta go. It's bedtime in the UK. Thank you so much for coming. Charlotte,
sorry.
thank you so much. That's okay. It's all right. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. I hope to see you. Let me know. Like I said, DM me if you want any information or to join the email so you can know about next events. Okay. And then we have a hand raised after you, Micah. So go ahead.
Okay. So I'll close it up. Today, what stood out to me was the alligator that was like predominant in like today and what I'm going through.
Right. Yeah. To kind of just allow yourself to have that, and to like not feel like you have to confine it or be one thing or
Yeah.
another thing or control all of those things. Just let it all come out and let the alligator help you to catch it, which is another predatory animal, but it's coming to you in a helpful and it's coming in a helpful and a benevolent way, you know. So it's like saying like, hey, I'm going to do something good for you and allow you to have these emotions. So that's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gwen.
Okay, so I initially was having a hard time. Everything was dark. But then finally at my father's house, he has this huge willow tree, and the willow tree actually opened up. I initially saw a snake, and the snake actually climbed up the tree or slithered up the tree, and the tree opened up and he went inside. Then the snake the shedding kind of sent a little bit of a message, but then went around in a circle. I forget what that circle, I think it's a Viking symbol. So I was kind of getting either break a cycle or begin a cycle with that. And then I also saw the snake actually 3 times. I saw it several times. Then I actually saw a dragon and I saw the eagle again.
Oh,
so, but I
love dragon energy.
I was like, well, I didn't expect a dragon. So
yeah. I love dragon energy. I had a hard time journeying at first. Usually that means someone's having a hard time journeying, and I was in the darkness. I also went all the way up to the sun. So I don't know if someone in this class went all the way up to the sun, or if in the replay, leave a comment if that's you, that you went all the way up to the sun, because that's not me. So there's someone else is taking me along with them on their journey. But also the sun is connected a lot of the times to the lion, like we talked about before, which is why the lion and solar plexus are connected, but it's also connected to dragon. So I saw like I was really, really close to the sun. And the last time that happened in a journey, somebody did get a dragon. So that's just like a connection, not like a little nod to you as well. We'll talk a little bit more also because snake is like the first archetype that you work with. Snake is connected to root chakra. Is the serpent is also like mine was the thunderbird, letting you know that means the shamanic path is calling you. The serpent is another one that tells people you're meant to start a shamanic path. I had my student in my last graduating class, towards the end, you go on a journey to pick out your own power animal that's meant to have you step into your own power. And she got snake, and we looked further and did more research on what the snake was for her. And it was big medicine. And so on top of it being divine feminine and the shedding and starting a new cycle, like you said, ending an old one and starting a new one, you're getting big answers, and that's including the other ones you told me recently that you've had come into your life with the eagle and the lion, and
it was huge.
Yeah.
The snake was huge.
Then the snake was huge. Okay, so that's literally the message that my own personal shamanic trainer, shamanic mentor, that she received to let her know that she was supposed to take up. She was very, very psychic and did a lot of other things, but the dream that she had was, or the journey or a dream was of a giant serpent, giant snake. Wow. And that was her call to shamanism, to the shamanic path. So like I said to you earlier today, I just really feel like the guides are telling you, this is your next, journey. This is your next path to take. You are meant to take up the shamanic way, and whatever that means for you. Right. But yeah, I do really feel like this is like an initiation time for you.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to have to go now too. And thank you so much for this. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. I can take one more share if one more person wants to share. If not, I'll go ahead and adjourn. Anyone else want to share? Okay. And you guys can always reach out to me directly if you want to just kind of privately share with me what you went through. If you want to get more clarification on that, if you want help, if you weren't able to sink into Journey today and you want a little bit, you want some tips and stuff, I actually have a video, a YouTube video that's just for my students, so that I tell you like some tips on how to go into shamanic journey. But since you guys came to this event, if you want that video, you can also let me know and I'll send you the link to that video as well. Thank you guys so much for coming. I loved this. This was so amazing. I'm so glad that my guides led me to start doing these. I hope that we gather together more in the shamanic, in a shamanic way, in a shamanic space that we can share with each other and learn and grow. Because it's, like I said, it's one of my like nearest and dearest to my heart paths of all my modalities. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now, and everybody is free to go.